Algebra 2A, red class. Today is, I believe, February the 27th. And so from there, we're going to go to page 5, please, standard 1. And then we'll do a mess around standard 3. If anyone needs a gift card to Little Caesars, let me know. I'll tell you where to go. If you go to Little Caesars, you can buy one. Here it goes. Let's see. Page 5. Page 5 takes you back to Algebra 1. Now, some of you loved Algebra 1. You wish you could be back there. Guess what? I'm going to flash back for just a second. They should have done something called factoring in Algebra 1. So I'm going to teach you how to factor a thing called the difference of squares. The difference of squares is math talk for the subtraction difference. In fact, let's write that in. Because some of you, oh yeah, I didn't even want to do that, but I guess I'll take it. Please put. No, they walk around, they be like, oh. You know what you just did? Yeah, you helped me fill my bucket. Look at that. I'm doing my thing. I'm trying my best. I don't know. The other people, they're just looking, but they were probably going to do backup. Then we'll put you under a friend. I don't know that we're related. We could be. I don't know, but it's possible. We'll put you under a friend. Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks. All right, ladies, for now, put those away, please. All right, so we have to do it on there. All right, do me a favor, write down the word difference. And for difference, of course, that's a math word for subtraction. Please find the difference between 8 and 3. Oh, do 8 minus 3 is 5. Again, for those who don't know it, half of your difficulties in math will be because of the words. Whatever words they use, if you don't happen to know what it means, please factor it. X squared minus 25. When we use the word factor, which is what we're about to do, I'll put please factor. I'm going to write please factor. Yeah, right, factor on here. That's what they're going to ask us to do. They're going to ask us to factor. You might know what word you're supposed to think of when you hear the word factor. The word math. Yeah, multiply. When you hear factor, this does sound like a winner. Everybody knows multiply, but factor, let's do multiply. Don't stay too long on this one, Thomas, because this is just to get them 1 extra point on standard 1. All right, so here it comes. The difference of these things are called squares. I'm putting square, and I'm putting square on this guy. Too much writing now, it's running out of space. Write it down just one time. I won't have you write it down every time, just one time, so when you hear the words, you write it down. If you can't put your name in fast color, all right, hey Thomas, there's a formula. Give them the formula. See if you show it to them here. We'll do it here. We'll do 2 harder ones, and that's it. So 4 of these, and I'm leaving standard 1. If you get it, good for you. You get an extra point on standard 1. If you don't get it, guess what? Right now, you should already have 2 of your points on standard 1, and so it shouldn't make you upset. So there it goes. What is the formula that they need to know? The formula goes this way. Let's see if I could do something squared. Move it over. How much space do you all have? If you guys cut the bottom half of your page, let me cut the bottom. Because you're going to need space. So if you were to cut your page in half, and write this formula below. I'm going to write mine above because I don't have the space that you have. But go ahead and cut it below your eraser. Alright, you're an eraser. I wonder why is it only going on the board. In any case, though, knowing how to do it. Alright, so go ahead and go. This is the formula. Something squared minus something else squared equals these 2 parentheses. 2 big parentheses that are being multiplied by each other. The bottom row is a factor. I can tell it's a factor. Because when 2 things are being multiplied by each other, you have a factor. 3 times 2, factors. Alright, what do they put inside of the top bubbles? They can put the letter A in red. Well, if they had red, they'd put it in red, and they put the letter B in blue. They don't have red and blue, so they're just going to put it in there. I'm writing a formula. You're not learning anything. I'm just giving it to you. And we're going to apply this to this thing here, and on the test, I'll be like, oh, I see it. Oh, that's easy. Others going to be like, nah, I don't know how to change that 25 into something squared. Here we go. The formula says a squared minus b squared. This is the difference of squares. If you have something written as something to the second power minus something else to the second power, you can write the answer as AA, BB, plus minus. That's the part you're going to memorize. AA, BB, plus minus. You're going to learn it with colors. Red, red, blue, blue, red, red, blue, blue, plus minus. You're trying to help you memorize it so that when you need the formula, it's already memorized. So here's what I'm saying. Whatever's in this parenthesis, you're going to write it twice. So why is he writing letters? Why not numbers? Letters represent any number that's going to wind up being in there. Whoever happens to be in there, A is just kind of like their alias. It just covers them up. The second guy, whoever he happens to be, use the letter B for him, just to say we don't know what number is going to be there, but no matter what number it is, we're going to write it twice. Anybody can write the first number twice. Anybody can write the second number twice. Hey, what goes inside here? AA, BB, plus minus. AA, BB, plus minus. Now, some of you are looking at it like, I don't even know what he's talking about. Is this the answer? What is this? Here it comes. This is the first part for an easy version of it. I don't know that they're going to give you the easy version. I think they're going to give you problem 3 and 4, the harder version. But let's watch the easy version. Step 1. You're given a problem. It only has 2 pieces separated by a minus sign. Your first job, put a parenthesis below there, and a minus sign in the middle. That's step 1. Anybody can do that. Even if you're not good at math, you can do that. Step 2. Write y squared as something squared. Now, this first one is weird because it's already kind of in the form that you need. But I'm going to put a color in so that you can see part of the answer already forming. To write y squared with a parenthesis, just put the y inside the parenthesis. Put squared on the outside. That part's no big deal. The letters are usually easy because they already have the little 2 hooked on. You just rewrite it. The numbers, not so. For those who are good with your timetables, it's going to be easy for you. For those who aren't that good with your timetables, like my 9-year-old son, he's having a little trouble with his 9s and his 8s. Work with him, but just that was a math teacher. In any case, here's the deal. What number raised to the second power would give you 25? In other words, what to the second power would give you the same 25? 5 is right, because what's true is 5 squared is 25. So they're going to use special numbers. Whatever the numbers are, usually they're going to be what we call, no, let me not just give it. Everybody know what 25 was? Give some numbers. You see. There's 16, 25, 36, 49. Those numbers have a special name. What's their name? 16, 25, 36, 49. 2 words, one of them starts with a P. Prime is a good answer. It's not the answer this time, but that's a good answer. Many of you have been in school now for 10 years. I've heard this before. When am I going to use this in life? Never, except right now. That's fine. I'm happy. You know what? I get to be the one to tell you. I like being the one to tell you the new thing. The old stuff, whatever. I don't want to repeat the old stuff. I want to be the one that gives you. So when you walk out of here and you have to be smart, and you say this answer, no, you guys. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Here it comes. It's prime, not prime. You got it in my head. It's perfect squares. So I'm gonna write this right here. I'm running out of this space. Perfect. Write this somewhere. Square. You can impress someone who's, they might say nerdy, a teacher. Here's some of your perfect squares. Like 9, 16, 25, 36. Why are they perfect squares? Because the way you get to them is 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, and I can even put 6 times 6, which is the same thing as 6 squared. Those are called perfect squares. Perfect squares. All right, that's going to be the answer. All this because this one is so easy. Hey, Thomas, how do I get my answer now that I put it red and blue? 2 parentheses next to each other. That's called factoring. now it's going to be red, red. Even put this part here to help some student out. The guy inside of the parenthesis, the first guy, technically he is the letter A. The second guy in that second parenthesis, technically he's the letter B. So if I were doing AA, BB, plus minus, I would actually put the letter that's in there, red, red, blue, blue, plus minus. So the first thing I'm going to put is, oops, 2 red Y's. 2 red Y's. The second time I won't do with as much talking. I'm just going to go right at it over there. This first time we figured let me add in as much excitement as possible. That way, even if they want to go to sleep, hopefully they're like, no, I'll stay up for that. Yeah, I was up last night till 2, doing whatever, social media, Netflixing, or doing whatever young people do. Taking one back, orange juice that is. All right, here goes. Let's see. Taking one back. All right. What is the second thing I'm going to put in both of these, please? Someone tell me. Yeah, it's the 5, and I heard someone else in there. It's like, no, I'm keeping the original ring. I'm not switching it to a ringtone. Yeah, there are 100 out there. I like that first. Here comes and then in the first parenthesis, between these guys, what am I putting? Plus or minus? Plus. Second guy? Yeah. Here's some good news. Let's see if you mess it by accident. Put the minus one first, and you put plus one second. Turns out it's okay. It's commutative. Commutative, you can move it back and forth. I commute from Beaumont all the way down, like close to 40 minutes each day just to teach you. Then I drive back up another hour each day to get back home. Put a box around this. Let's do the other one. There's the answer. Like, the answer? What do we do? Please factor this expression. How do you factor it? Write this subtraction problem as a multiplication problem. That's fact. Why do they want you to do that? I don't know. Did I teach you how to do it? Yeah. Get you credits, get you out of high school, and get you a job for the rest of your life? You don't really want to get to working that fast. All right, here goes. Do me a favor. On this one here, hopefully you left some space. I got to get to the computer stuff. Please put your 2 parentheses below that one. I'm going to erase some stuff on mine. Put what goes inside the bubbles. If you had red, I would have you say put the stuff inside the red. Put the stuff inside the blue. Again, if you're not good with your timetables, the second part is going to be difficult because it's all about thinking about your timetables. Once you put them in there, if you can square it, in other words, do the next line down, then go ahead and do that. I'm coming around trying to check it off. Someone's like, okay, so what are we doing again? Line 1 with the red Y, 5. You're going to fill those in as best you can. The letter part is usually easy. It's the number part that you have to think about. Then you're going to do the last answer. Red, red, blue, blue, plus minus. If you find this easy, congratulations to you. You get an extra point on your standard 1. If you don't find it easy, don't stress. You already have your 2 points. All right. So I'm going to try and come around and check mark in a moment. What if you don't get it right? I'm going to show that one. Let's get this piece in and do a harder version of this, and then let it go. Someone say out loud what's going inside of that first parenthesis, please. T as in turtle. Good job. It's a red T, as a matter of fact. Someone different, please. Someone's going inside the second parenthesis. 4 as in turtle. Very good. I got that. And again, once you fill them in, you got a formula. AA, BB, plus minus. Red, red, blue, blue, plus minus. You do 5 of these in a row, and then you're a genius at it. What's the next one while I'm writing that up there so that you can start that next one? Let me see. The next one should throw somebody off, but that's okay. I want you to feel the pain. I'll fix it, then we'll do one more with the pain. Where are you? No, leave that fraction alone. It's either going to be that guy, or it's going to be this guy. Small or big, small or big, small or big. I'll go small first, so that's what's going to afraid of the numbers. Someone say what page number this is, please. Page 9, page 9. Do the same thing to page 9. Put your 2 parentheses below the 9 and the R and the 4. That extra 9 should mess up some people. We'll see if it does. If it messes you up, it's supposed to mess you up. If it doesn't mess you up, I'm impressed by you. Page 9. Let me go back and write in the answer to the other one. So on page 9, we're doing this guy here. If I were starting you off, I put parentheses here, parentheses there. We're going to find the difference of the squares. Hey, they're walking around. All right. They're doing something. So let's see if I can back up and put in the answer to the last one. That way, if you didn't have the answer, you can write it in. Let's erase a little bit here. Let's get you out of the way. All right. Oh, Tom spent too long on this. The real stuff today is going to mess with their minds. The question is, will I do this with the other class? Let's see. Red, red, blue, blue, plus, minus. The second time, I won't even write it. All right, they got that. Container, what are we putting in there? The first container. It's a 3R. How do you write something 9 as something squared? Oh, 3 squared is 9. A little hint, in the case you put down the same number, it'll never be the same number. It has to be smaller. So even if you had to guess, at least you know I'm not guessing the same number. Someone different, what am I putting for that? 4? And now at this point, what you have, the good news I saw some of yours is that, you know, the red, everything that's red is the A. AA, BB, plus, minus. Hopefully you can feel it. Nonetheless, I'm going to write the whole answer just in all black because on the test, or with your pencils, of course, you won't have the red, red, the blue, blue, the plus, minus. Hopefully I put your assessment in your hand today when you do get it. Problem number 2 is going to do something like that. Last time on this one, now that you've seen the ugly version, back up to whatever that page was. Can someone tell me what page this guy is? Page 7, page 7, go page 7. We'll do this guy, page 7. At least you know what it should have been. All right, this time in all black, scratch out the red stuff now that they have that. Yeah, the bigger the numbers, the harder the problem. Yeah, I'm not sure about my 64 timetables or 25. Here it comes. Someone say out loud, how do you write 25 as something squared? And the letters is always just the letter to that power. The 64 is someone different. How do I write 64 as something squared? What number times itself? Give me 64. I'm going to write something down for someone. Here's what I write down. I still don't listen to it. But just so those who are like, I'm mathematically inclined, I can follow stuff. Technically, to get the number that goes inside, technically you would just take the square root of the number. Like, what's the square root of 64? Oh, the square root of 64 is 8. In other words, what number times itself gives me the number in the house? That's what the square root sign asks. And for the 25, what number times itself gives me the number in the house? That's what the square root asks. So if that helps some student, fine. If it throws you off, forget I even said it. All right, final answer on this thing, and then I'm moving. All right, let's get rid of you. I'm going to keep them, just so some kid could be confused later on in life. I'm going to keep you square root, and I'm going to keep you too. All right, here it comes. AA, BB, plus, minus. AA, 5x. 5x, BB, 8, 8, plus, minus. Take a look at it, write it down. It's free. I put it on the board. Study it, listen to the video. And that's kind of a cool thing too. I know students don't do it. But if I were kind of in school and the teacher did a thing today and something went a little bit fast, and I could kind of just hear that one part again, let me play that at home, I think I would do it once or twice. I know students don't do it. They're like, look, I didn't get it then. I'm not trying to really hear it again. But this topic, solving, here's 18. Yeah, see, the numbers are messed up. All right. So let me put page 18 up there. When I saw this, I was so like, oh man, I hate teaching this thing. It's so hard, and students, by the end, they don't get it anyway. Can we just do the easy version? And then it turns out on the assessment, they're doing the easy version. And so I'm like, yes. So step 1, show them a little bit of the hard version. Step 2, Let them start putting stuff into the computer. And step 3, tell them what it is they're looking for. The standard, how do they write the standard for this one? We're going to put it on there somewhere. So we're going to put the very top of this. I'm going to write mine on this thing. You write yours above. What is standard 3? Standard 3, let me group. Standard 3, learning target. I can find solutions to system of equations and know that where they intersect is the solution. Where they intersect. Intersect, big word for when you're on the corner of Slover and Sierra. That's where the streets intersect. It's called an intersection because they hit each other there. Intersect is the solution. Is the solution. That's what I told you earlier. With the crisscross, two lines of the crisscross with the intersect. Let's see if I can. Yeah, boom. You got it. You got it. I'm gonna see if I can go. See if I can go. Turn down the heat. All right, thinkers. Last unit, standard 3. Standard 2. There's this big problem. You have to factor it and find the zeros, and then the line of symmetry, and then the vertex. It's a super long problem. Then on standard 1, problem number 3, you have to factor it. You have to then do the x thing. Well, guess what? This weird problem simply says this. Listen to it first before we do math. What are 2 numbers that when I subtract those 2 numbers, it'll give me a 2. But those same 2 numbers, when I add those 2 numbers, they'll give me a 6. Think about it. That could be it. Don't say it out loud yet, just in case. Again, what are 2 numbers that when I subtract those 2 numbers, will give me a 2. But when I add those same 2 numbers, it will give me 6. I'm going to write this x. I am taking a chance here. I'm taking the chance that what we normally do when we do this big X, well, I'll do it. I'm going to make a different big X. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to actually do the same thing. So a little different than our normal big X. It's like a Spider-Man big X. This one's a little different. What are 2 numbers that when I subtract them, it'll give me a 2. So I got to put that subtraction sign. Normally, what are 2 numbers that when I multiply, it'll give me the top. But when I add them, give me the bottom. Well, this is a little different. But when I add those same 2 numbers, it'll give me a 6. I'm going to write them on either side here. The good news is, by the end of this lesson, you won't even have to think, which is sad. By the end of this lesson, have you punch the things into the computer? The computer's going to show you the picture. And in the picture, you'll find the answer right there. So basically, if you're not blind, this lesson, by the time it ends, it's going to be pretty good for you. If you are blind and can't, I will give you one of those sticks so you can hit things right on. Okay, what are those 2 numbers that when you subtract them, they give you 2, when you add them, they give you 6? Yeah, and the only that I had to pretend like it wasn't it so that some other kid would keep thinking that they hear the answer. Like, yes, you're right. Like, they didn't have to think. It is true that 4 and 2 will win the game. That is, I put a 4 here and a 2 here. 4 minus 2 give me a 2. And then 4 plus a 2 would give me a 6. It wins. So let's start with some vocabulary. The answer to this problem is called the solution. When you solve an equation, you figure out what number should be in the place of the letters. That's called solving. You find the solution. They'll say to you on a test, please find the solution to the system of equations. What the heck is a system of equation? You have one equation. The minute they give you 2, you now have a system. One equation, system of equation. What if they gave me 3 of these? What do you call 3 of them? It's called a system of equations. The minute you get past 1, they're all just called a system. But the most famous system is 2 of these guys. So Thomas, how do we write down the answer to this thing? You write it down as an ordered pair. In an ordered pair, so you may recall, the first number is always x, the second number is always y. So that's out loud. What number am I going to put in the place of x? coughing it, 4 is correct. And then, what's the second number going to be? 2. This thing is the answer here. This big X is how you got it. Up here, you show me that you know it. But you write down the answer. It's written as an ordered pair. Here's the last thing I want you to do. Put all of this together. If I put this in picture form, I need to put a dot up here to represent the answer, and then put the coordinates right below. Do me a favor. On this XY plane, this thing's called a plane. It's not called a graph, by the way. On this XY plane, please plot. Please plot the point 4, 2. Please plot the point 4, 2. Or I should even say it this way. Please graph the point 4, 2. Graph the point 4, 2. And that will be the solution to the system of equations. Yeah, that's a lot of vocabulary. Hopefully it'll do right now. But and this one in just a second, I'm going to come around and I'm going to check you so that I know what you know. And again, we're going to show how this is going to connect once we're able to use decimals for it. There we go. If you are ready to get your check mark, raise your hand, that way I know. Those who need more time, that's fine. 19. On this guy here, again, please put this new Spider-Man X. The reason I'm not just doing this magic X is, again, I don't want you to think this again. Oh, yeah, it does say pig. Page 19. But thanks for being observant. All right. I guess I would change the pig so they write, what pig? What is he talking about? Where's your pig? And I'm like, I thought you were saying, does that say pig? That's like, I don't get what he's saying. All right, let's see if I can do it. Still such a good one. All right, so do this. Don't worry, I can't switch it. What are 2 numbers that when you add them, don't say it out loud, so all the brains think, technically in education, this is supposed to be a 7-second waiting period. Technically, if in any of your class where your teacher asks a question, you're supposed to wait about 7 seconds before they accept any answer. Within the first 7 seconds, it allows students to go. Any student who answers that question before 7 seconds, some students are derailed and they're like, thinking, answer, whatever. Don't even think anymore. So technically, it's supposed to be 7 seconds. And what's also true is answering the question to the person next to you is the other thing that's important, so that only one student isn't answering. If half of you were to answer to each other, that's still far more than the other. So the second time, I'll have you do it that way. Nonetheless, let's see if I can get this part into the clock. All right, we're still okay on time. What's the question that you're answering? What are 2 numbers that when you add them, they'll give you 4, but those same 2 numbers, when you subtract them, will also give you 4. So I'll put this 4 up here. Don't say it out loud because I'm coming around, or I'll have you say it to your neighbor in just a moment. Again, after we do it this old-fashioned way, again, the goal is to let you see the benefits of technology, so that when you actually have to use technology, you're like, oh, that is sweet. All right. I'm going to come around in just a moment. I'm going to check this one, see what you guess. Again, always guessing because you know your mind is most ready to learn right after it's guessed and answered. And wants to know, so did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Even if you get it, do it. All right. Let me have it. What are the 2 numbers that when you add them, they'll give you the top number. When you subtract them, they'll give you the bottom. Yeah, that's cool. Back row's thinking. Sure, leave me hanging. I don't care. There's someone all the way in the back of the room, and I'm just asking. All right. I did see it out there several times, though. What are the 2 numbers? Say it again. Hey, he's helping me throw my bucket. He's not just letting me out there dangle around like 5 people have the answer, and then no, that's fine. That's fine. It is 4-0. All right, go ahead. Write that as an ordered pair, and then go ahead and graph it. And it's from this guy that we're going to back up actually, and use decimals to show, hey, where's this thing coming from? And how easy it will be. It is true by the time you get to the assessment level of this, the technology will get you only so far. It's going to get you that intersection. But then again, you'll have to look at it and see, okay, so now what is it doing? All right, so I'm peeking around. This time I'm not check mark. I'm just come around to take a peek of your graphing after that. I saw that the ordered pair is 4, 0. Of course, I saw that the 4 is on the X. 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw if we put this right on here, which is what I want to see. Here comes the additional part, so that when you see it on decimals, you're like, whoa, what's this extra stuff? Wait for me. And that is each one of these equations actually represents a line. They call it linear equation because it represents a line. So here's the deal. What I'm about to have you do in decimals is to put in this first line, put in this second line. And just like our learning target explained that the solution to the system of equations is where they intersect. The intersect part is because each one of these is a line. So step one, do me a favor. On this one, then we'll back up and do it on the other one, the earlier one. Go ahead and put in both of these equations into decimals. It should demonstrate a picture, and then we'll have you even highlight on the picture the solution, that is the point where they intersect. I'll come on and take a look while you're doing that. For those who will see the video at home who are absent, so that they can see where it came from, let me put that up. So you're making an adjustment. You don't have to erase the other answer that you had on yours. You can just go ahead and make that adjustment. After you make that adjustment, what I want you to do also is go back to the problem we did just before. Again, put it in decimals, make sure it actually matches up with what we want. And then I'll come around and make sure that I see that second one. So they're sketching, then they're backing up to the page before, and I can put that one in decimals. While you do that, I'm going to put this one in for those who are absent so that they'll see the video. They'll also get to see, let's see, coming up for me. The first one was with x plus y equals 4. It was 4. And then my friend, it was y minus x. X, I think also equaled 4. Yeah. So for those watching the video, of course you type that into decimals, click on the solution, and of course the solution is where the two lines intersect, and voila, you have it there. Because it's going to be so simple to do that, the main push for them on the assessment will be, can you explain what that means in a real-world context? They can give you a scenario, and then say, oh, okay, find the solution. That's fine, you're going to type it in, click on it, no big deal, you're good. But then you can say, okay, so now what does the number mean? So we'll look at that in a moment. What am I doing coming around now? I want to see that original problem. Let's find out what page the first one we did was on. What page was that? Back up here. So I'm going to say what page that was. Oh, page 18. I'm going to erase some of mine. But this problem here is the one I want you to put in decimals right now. This is the one I'm going to come around and check. We chose 4, 2 is our answer. We're going to verify, like, hey, is 4, 2 the real deal? Or did we get something it doesn't back it up? Once you get it there again, you're going to sketch. That's going to be part of what they do in the assessment. And then also identify the solution at that point, label it with the coordinates, that 4, 2 on the actual picture. And then from there, the final question that I ask is, what does that solution actually mean? I'm coming around to look at your computers now. What am I coming around to see? These two guys plugged in, the picture of them, and the point highlighted so you can, I know you put in the sketch there. All right, sketch. I'm coming around just a moment. So once you get it up and you write and everything, keep it there. Don't take it away. I just need to get mine for this guy here. Move you for a little bit. Maybe too much. Alright, so they're sketching. So sketch. Just a little bit out on the picture. Just do a rough one. Alright, here it comes, here it comes. We're going to go to page 20. This time, we add a little flavor to it. But again, once you're used to the process, you have technology just like here on number 5, using the appropriate tools strategically, then you are nice and easy. Page 20. So now you're not even stressing at all. And so we started you off without it. So that one, here we have, there's going to be a new version of it, just to change one other thing. And then from there, I'm going to give you a handout with a problem that looks a little different than what you've been getting. But once you get that new handout, knowing where they intersect is going to be your friend. The picture's going to look weird, it's going to look different. But knowing where they intersect is going to be important. And in a real world situation, we talked about earlier, you won't be able to have negative numbers as a possibility. So let me see if we can type this in. Just to leave it that way. Someone say out loud what the first equation is. 2x minus y equals 4. And the second guy, oops, 3y equals 12. And I saw that picture on yours. Again, as easy as it is getting that in, it is clicking on the solution. And again, remember what the solution is saying. What are two numbers that with one of them, if I were to multiply it times 2, then take the other number away, it would give me a 4. That's what they're asking. But those same two numbers, if the first one I multiply times 2, then the second one I multiply by 3, put those together and give me 12. I mean, it's long to say, but basically, these two numbers make this statement true, and they make the other guy true. All right, let's tweak it a little bit, see if it makes anybody nervous. There should be another problem on there. Let me see. And he should have some new symbols. But the idea of these two guys is fine. The next two guys on page 22, or rather, let's do the simpler guy. Yeah, I'll do the simpler guy. 21. 21, now you have a system of inequalities, not a system of equations. Inequalities because the two symbols say that the two sides are not equal. The system part is still the same. I have one inequality. I have two systems. Okay. And then you have more than when you have a system. Do me a favor. Type in. Let's see what the picture looks like. It's look a little bit different. And you'll kind of 8 and 9 expect everyone to get. It's just doing what we've done before with the equation. 10 might be a little trickier. Get from under that fraction. If anyone had any trouble, you push the right arrow to get from under there. Alright, so far I should have what most of you have. Let's see if I can take mine over. Solutions, again, if you did on decimals, this one is different because it has two pictures. Now some people are like, okay, maybe one, okay, how am I putting this in? But where the two pictures intersect are your possibilities for solutions. The question is like, okay, so if my answer that I can write down for solutions is this 13.73 comma 3 point whatever, and then this other guy, this 1.0 whatever comma 0.255. Okay, so clearly I can do two things. No matter what equation you give me, if I have decimals for technology, I can put it in, I can sketch it. That's the actual skill they want you to have. So the fact that you did this, don't think like, oh, I did this, but I don't know how to get the answer. That's part of what they want you to have. The other part is, okay, well, what does this rainbow represent? And what does this line represent? Let me reread the problem, and then from there, see if we can answer that last part, which is, okay, what are these guys? The other thing that's important, that it's unfortunate they didn't do it here, if any time any of these answers were a negative number, we could not use them as an answer in a real-world scenario. This is a real-world scenario because they describe a real thing. These guys throwing a ball or something like that. Well, no negative answers. I think what you might run into when you get to the assessment, they may throw in a curveball by putting in a negative answer, like, oh, you have negative 7.3. Like, no. You can't have negative because the ball can't go negative into the sky, and you can't be negative feet tall, none of that. So let me read the scenario, and then let's see if we can hear one or two answers out there, and then try and put your assessment in frame, so at least, if nothing else, you can mess around with standard one. Time's going to be limited, but still I'm going to try it. Okay, Steven is working on his throw to try to make the baseball team. He is standing on a hill, okay, and throws the ball up the hill so that he can just grab it when it rolls back down the hill. Got it? The slope of the hill, that straight line, got it? And the equation of the throwing ball, okay, got it with that guy, the long guy, where x represents the time in seconds that the ball is in the air, okay, how long the ball is in the air, and y represents the height of the ball in feet. So, okay, here's what I understand them saying. Wrong thing. Right. So this is the ball going through the air. I got that. This is the slope. Please write that in just so you can have it down. So if this is the ball going through the air, and this is the slope, someone out loud, tell me kind of what this solution represents. What's happening right there? Where the ball hits the slope. Now, down here, the x, this I'm going to put in for you, x and y. They said the x is the amount of time, and they said y was what? The height? Y was the height. These are all the things that were written into that scenario. Write it down on your paper, because eventually, let's say if you miss the session today, to work on standard 3, you're going to need to go back and look at your papers. But if you don't write any of this down, then you're going to be like, I don't know what to look for. So here's the official deal. We know that's where the ball hits the slope. If you're actually using the numbers, this is the amount of time it took the ball to get to this height. So if you put any of two answers, one is where the ball hit the slope, I agree. If you were saying what the actual numbers mean, it took 13 seconds for the ball to hit the slope at this height, which is, I'll say, 3.4 feet or inches. Again, that last question, I think may be extra. I think if you're able to enter the equations, label them properly, sketch it, I think you get the 8 points. I'll have to read what's in this section. I'm going to do it even though the time's limited. I want to put the assessment in front of you right now, so at least you will have gotten a chance to at least see how they say it, even if you don't get a chance to do it. Pause, though.